Hi, Joe Delsardo, handballer out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here to answer a few questions. So, number one, what is my best memory in handball? There's so many memories, but I'd have to say the first year that I started playing was probably well below a B player, and I traveled to 3-wall nationals, 4-wall nationals, and worlds all within about a 6-month period of just starting, and it was like, a shot in the arm. I just loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the atmosphere of tournaments, and especially those big tournaments too, where you're playing over multiple days. So one of my favorite memories from one of those tournaments was Worlds in Portland, and David Fink and I were rooming together out there, and he's playing in the one-wall event, and he's talking to Joe Kaplan before, and if he would have won, he would have played Joe in the next round. And he says, what's a good strategy for one-wall? I don't play one-wall much. And Joe said, there's really no difference. You just play your game. You'll be good. And so David ended up losing to a one-waller from New York. I can't remember who it was. And, immediately after the match, Joe Kaplan had just a list of things that you could do differently in one wall. Hey, serve it in the middle and hop it each way, and, a whole laundry list of things that he could have done differently. But before the match, when he could have been an opponent later on, there were no tips. So that was one of my best memories in handball. And then later that tournament, I met Jake Plummer and was able to throw a football around with him in one of the big gymnasiums. So that was quite a memorable tournament for me. Number two, who inspired you to become a handballer? Well, this guy has many proteges, but in 2008, late 2008, a friend of mine played racquetball, and I know, racquetball. And this guy who kind of looks like Larry David walks up to me and says, "You want to play a real man's sport?" And it was Rodney Fink. And I got into the handball court, and again, just like the tournaments, it was a shot in the arm, and I never looked back and never played racquetball again. So Rodney is one who's coached me through a lot of tournaments and been there along the way, and we still jump in the court every once in a while. So that's who inspired me and I guess pushed me into the handball court. What is your favorite tournament and why? For this, obviously my favorite tournament every year is RFC in Pittsburgh, one of the longest running, if not the longest running WPH event. But it's obviously something to bring some of the best handball players in the world to our hometown, where we have a tight-knit group of guys that play handball. Is fun to see. It's fun to get people to experience your city. But I'd have to say I'm going to exclude that. So traveling-wise, I think that Salt Lake City is probably my the favorite tournament that I've been to. You get a professional tournament, you get a chance to qualify, but you also have a tournament to play for guys like myself who most likely aren't going to qualify because there's so much good competition there. You have a great host, a great venue that you have the tournament at, and then obviously the scenery, able to get out and go hiking in the mountains. And, my first trip there was David Fink and I, Rodney, Mike Semplis, and the Cordovas staying in an Airbnb together. So it was really a nice experience to go there, play some handball at night, relax, and hang out with some of the top pros in the world. So it was a lot of fun. And lastly, who is the best player you've ever played and why? So I've actually gotten to court with so many of the top pros in doubles fashion. So I've played a doubles match and won. David Fink and I beat Paul Brady and his partner in LA. That was in 3-wall. I've played doubles against the great one, David Chapman, and I've played doubles against Luis Moreno. But I'd have to say the best player I've ever played, and this was on a consistent basis in singles, was David Fink. And just the speed, the velocity, and the power that he hits the ball with, his precision on his serves, the precision on his kill shots is, something that I don't get to experience on a regular basis. I know, like I said, there's a group of us in Pittsburgh that play, and when David comes home and we get the chance to play with him, it's just, you're on a whole different level of skill and power. And the pace that they hit the ball with is just so much different, and it's truly an adjustment. And I really think when I took a step in my game from being, a mid B to maybe an A player was at the times when I was playing David Fink a lot. And I guess basically you learn a lot from getting pounded day in and day out. And, I think one of my proudest moments was being able to earn a point off him by a good shot or good serve, So that's the best player that I've ever played against, and someone that I contribute a lot of my success to. Thank you all.